little dusty. I was just upstairs working in my bathroom. I actually had some caulking I had to do in the shower and on some toilets. So that pretty much is why I'm dressed like I just got out the shipyards. Um, but what's going on with y'all? How y'all doing today? I'm sitting over here on the computer, checking out some things, seeing what's popping in the world, checking out the news and all that. But what's going on with y'all though? Boop, boop, boop. Let's see who in here watching. Hopefully y'all having a good old day. Let me turn this over so I ain't in my room, so just made spaghetti. Oh, what up, Ethan? Man, some spaghetti sound real good right now. I think I'm gonna go and get some go and get some Mexican food. This spot around the corner from my crib, they got this I think it's called burrito texano. What up, Sid? And inside the burrito texano, it has like bell peppers, onions, chicken, steak, shrimp, and chorizo as far as like the ground beef or whatever the case may be. Be bussing. I ain't gonna lie to you, straight bussing. So I might mess around and shoot over there and get that tonight because I ain't ate since this morning anyway. So that kind of justifies me eating so much at such a late time in the evening. That's everything in there. Yeah, man. Everything in there. No lie. That's everything in there. If I get a chance, man, I'll take a picture and put it up on a post so y'all can see it later on. But man, it's y'all just don't know. You just don't know the classic 3 cent. Hey, for sure, for sure, definitely the classic. I'm actually over here on the computer looking at a whole bunch of old pictures from back when I was in the Navy. Actually, I ain't seen a lot of these pictures in a long time. So I got pictures of being over in Abu Dhabi, Bahrain, Rome, Portugal. Man, it's a good time. Now that I look back on it, I had a bomb out here. Let me see if I can flip it around so y'all can see something. Yeah, that was when I was out in Rome right there. Bomb time in Rome. Straight bomb. So yeah, that's all I'm doing right now. Just basically going through some pictures. Not so much reminiscing, just pretty much trying to organize them and get them all into one folder right now. Excuse me. Yeah, but what's going on with y'all out there though? How everybody doing tonight or this afternoon? Yeah, man, I ain't shit. I ain't so much reminiscing, just looking at old pics. It ain't like I don't come across them on a regular anyway, so not so much reminiscing, just more so trying to organize it, find a file for it, put everything in the file. That way it ain't all these icons all over the screen. But I actually like that though, so yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. What up from Texas? What's that? Austin, Texas. What up? Favorite thing about Rome? Man, the trying to think. Not so much the agriculture. I say more so the aesthetics of the buildings, the statues, different type of monuments and stuff like that. So the construct, I like the construct of Rome a lot, and the wine was really good. Like that's when I started drinking red wine. As a matter of fact, the Cabernet Sauvignon and the Malbec. That's when I started drinking wine though. When I was in Rome. Yeah, man, this sinus is crazy. I've been dealing with it for a minute now. Oh, what up, Houston? What up, Houston? Chi-Town. What's popping? But yeah, that's all I'm doing right now. Like I said, just looking over some old pictures. I actually saw y'all a couple. Let me see. The food is booming, doesn't mess you up. Yeah, maybe. Let's see what we got right here. I'll flip this. And there go another picture. We was in the little jewelry store or whatever. Me trying to be cool and whatnot. I think we was in Abu Dhabi then when we took that picture. So yeah, it's pretty much a lot of old pics, surprise birthday pictures, all that kind of stuff. Excuse me. I'm thinking about trying to do a video later on tonight. I want to do a video about kind of like Gucci rifles. So anybody in there who rock with the Gucci's, or you pretty much just like budget tier, you don't feel like you need to spend all of that money, you don't need to have $600 and $700 optics and stuff like that, then I get it. But I'm gonna pretty much do a video to kind of see what do people consider it to be a, I guess I say, Gucci'd out rifle versus a rifle that's just like bare bones, basic, mid tier. So maybe I'll do something similar to like a low tier, mid tier, and high tier, and then kind of get an idea on what you guys think about it as far as parts and accessories and stuff like that. Because I know on one of my rifles I have a weapon light on the rifle and a red dot, and together both of them, if you would have had bought them brand new out the packaging, would have been about $1,000, and that's just a light and a red dot. So some people might say that that's still not Gucci, because some people have optics that are costing 1,500, 1,600 bucks, 2,000 out the gate. You get you ACOG or something like that, and you spend about what, 1,400, 1,500 bucks for that. So some people might say that's the Gucci. I don't know, No, I ain't no SEAL. I ain't gonna say I wish I was a SEAL. But no, I work in aviations. So working on the flight deck of the aircraft carrier, fueling, and that pretty much was what I did, fuel aircrafts, and maintenance around the ship, maintenance in the aviations department and stuff like that. Yeah, it do be a lot of brand flex, and I ain't gonna lie to you, because although I have like I said, one of the optics that I have is my EOTech XPS3-0 with the night vision capability for the reticle. I spent about 600 and some change, maybe seven, because I actually got it. It was like 10% off or something like that. But I've had it for years, and it's not a flex for me because I'm not sitting out here trying to like buy another red dot that's better or more expensive with a bigger brand and name or something like that. Like, I'm running that EOTech and I'm gonna run it till it break, honestly, and I probably won't ever sell it. I sold a magnifier for it though, and I sold a magnifier, and I forget what I bought when I sold a magnifier, but yeah, I ain't with the brand flexing. I mean, some people had the money, and I get it, because I'll help you. Let me see, did it help you? Nah, it didn't help me get a job when I got out. But back to Sig about the brand flexing. I was watching a guy's video, and I forget what his name was, but it was funny because he was doing a video about a rifle that he bought, and then when he was in his room, he was like, I forgot that I had this in the back of my safe. It was a Scar 17 with like I think he had an ACOG on it, complete Scar 17. So I'm like, now that's brand flexing right there, because you're just like, oh, I forgot I had this Scar in my safe, like literally forgot it. I'm like, so that's about a $2,000 rifle with another maybe band on, well, about 1,500 on the red dot. I'm gonna go ahead and say that's flexing, but I ain't knocking it though. I want to be in that position where I can say I got some extra stuff in the safe like that. But nah, I think that was really a brand flex. But like I said, I ain't knocking them. Monstrum, Arch for LPVO, idea for the next base bang for your buck. Yeah, I mean, I rock with LPVOs. I run the SIG Tango 1-6. I think it's pretty good. I had the 1-8 before that, before I got the 1-6, but I like it, honestly. I'm not the biggest LPVO guy. I actually did a build, if you look at some of the older videos, which was a recce rifle build. I had the bipod, LPVO, all of that, in my opinion, what I considered it to be a recce rifle. And it was pretty much like going on how people say, oh, well, this is a recce rifle, this ain't a recce rifle. Tell me why I'm hitting every single mark, in my opinion, on what the recce rifle is supposed to be. That somebody's like, well, you don't got a can on it, so it's not a recce rifle. I'm like, get out of here. I got a Surefire flash hider on it, so I'm like, yeah, shut up. What's your favorite country? I don't know, man. I can't even tell you what my favorite was. What country had the best looking like? That's a hard one. That's a hard one. I really can't answer that. Do you own full auto? No, I don't. I don't own any full auto, but I've shot full auto. I actually don't even really want a full auto rifle. And what's crazy is because a lot of time when I hear a lot of people speak about having a full auto, whether it's a pistol, which I really don't understand, a handgun is a full auto, but to each his own. But as far as like a rifle is concerned, if I'm not running a semi-auto function or a 3-round burst function, then I feel like there's no reason for full auto. And in my opinion, I could be wrong, but from what I know, full auto isn't intended for a offensive type of scenario. It's for defensive. It's to fight out of a situation to provide and lay down cover fire. So if I'm here and you're here and I need to get you from here up to there, but we're getting shot at from this direction coming at us, then I will go full auto. I'm just spraying in the direction of the gunfire, and in that time it gives you time to move up and move, into this position, and then we can keep going, you know, forward. But it's for suppressed fire, so that's like, yeah, that's the reason why I really never wanted a full auto, and don't plan on getting one. Plus, they cost a lot. So if you ever looked at the some on Gun Broker or go to whatever gun stores you might be at and see them, they cost a grip. And I think with the Assault Weapons Ban Act and the legalities over buying that lower receiver, it has to be like before the tax ban or the assault weapons ban before that. I could be wrong, but from what I know and the last time I read about it, that's what it is. Most used rig is PSA with the. I like the Romeo. The Holocene and the Romeo. I really like them. Spray painted green and it shoots. I believe it. I believe it. If go look at one of my go look at one of my videos. If you didn't see it, it's one of the more recent videos, which was a budget build that I did. And honestly, that budget build, it functions just as good as my BCM builds, honestly. But that's my opinion. And at the same time, you really got to run some stuff through the paces. And I ain't talking about 50 rounds. I'm talking about really run stuff through the paces, getting it hot. A lot of times we'll shoot, and some people will shoot, and they might say that this gun is just as good as that gun. And I'm not saying that it isn't, but a lot of times people aren't finna shoot the rifle or firearm so consistently to the point where you just put maybe 100 rounds down range in less than 5 minutes or something like that. But I feel like that's when you'll actually see the difference in quality and the QA, how good the tolerances are, the barrel. Once the heat started getting in, it get hot in the kitchen. You really go see what you about. So that's my opinion on that. What did I miss? You ain't missed too much, bro. You ain't missed too much at all. Pre-86 autos are pre-86 autos. I think I looked on one time on Gun Broker, and this was a while ago, and they wanted like 30. I think they wanted like 30, 40 bands for a M4 lower, which was I think it was a Colt M4 lower. At the time, it was like 40 or 50,000, I think, for that lower receiver. But honestly, it might be more now. It might be 100. You get your FFL, you could. Yeah, I know. My homie's homeboy, he has his own FFL, and he's a gunsmith. So his actual guns, his actual building is like one of those buildings. It looked like a silo, kind of like what you put a hangar for like an airplane or something like that in, because they live out in the sticks, and it's actually in his backyard. So when he goes to his backyard, he walks into his actual place of business. And that's kind of dope because you basically get all of your weapons not only delivered directly to your door in that capacity, but you get everything delivered to your door, and you could buy everything. But like I said, I'm not finna get into that. Not right now. Maybe in the future, but I don't really mess around with I don't mess around with it enough like that in that aspect to try and get an FFL and all that kind of stuff. I'm sorry, yeah, and get my FFL or whatever. Would be expensive, but Russian. Man, I'm prepared. If you can't do it in semi-auto, nah. If you running an assault or what's that, the M290 or something like that, and you running with a team, then okay, cool, I get it. But if you just on some holding down the fort type of deal, maybe maneuvering around in your neighborhood and in your yard, I ain't one of them people that say property because it just sound weird and make you sound like you live in the boondocks somewhere. And I'm, but anyway, you're moving around your backyard, front yard, around the side of the gate, or whatever the case may be. You ain't finna need all that. You go cause more harm than anything to yourself, probably, than to whatever opposition you got in the moment. Maybe. I could be wrong. First firearm I ever shot was the M4. I'm sorry. This M9A1. Damn, tripping. Yeah, the Beretta M9A1. That was my first pistol I ever shot, and honestly, that is my nostalgia pistol. I think if whenever I get a chance, when I get the free money or something, when I just really ain't got nothing to spend it on, I think I'm gonna go and buy me a used Beretta M9A1, one of the maybe law enforcement or military surplus that you probably get for about 400 some bucks, just to have it because, like I said, it's a nostalgia. It doesn't have to have the rail mount at the bottom because the ones back when I was in the Navy shooting, the M9A1s that we had, they didn't have like a mountain rail system at the bottom. It was just a slick bottom, and then of course it didn't have no red dots at the top. So you basically running irons, and depending on what command and such you in, your irons is just like the white dots. You don't even got the luminescence or the tritium in the sights or nothing like that. Like you running just straight stock John McClane Die Hard type stuff. But I love that pistol though. How much saw is M60? Yeah, it's about that price. That's why when you hear about the government budget that we have as a country, and the government, you go and look at the budget for the military budget or whatever the case may be, and you like, man, I see how it was up into like billions, trillions of dollars or whatever, because like you got a thing, you got the M60s or whatever, and you might have how many groups, how many teams out there that carry that. So that you over $1 million, and that's just in 10, and you probably got 2 in the unit. So you do the math. Be funny. I appreciate you tuning in, Nathan. Thank you. Hopefully you subscribe, man. And I didn't know you was being funny. Look, I took it literal. Now, you know what? It in comparison to what you finna spend on the 240 or whatever, the M9, when you got that saw, whatever ammo you spend, I feel like if you bought the machine gun itself or the light machine gun, you ain't worried about ammo. I'll tell you that now. You ain't worried about ammo. I think the cost of ammo is irrelevant to people who purchase things like that. So I think for the average person thinking about it like us, we listen to it and hear it and be like, man, I wonder how much they spend in ammo. But I think in reality, when you can afford something like that, you don't think about the price of ammo because you're not even buying it on a scale of what the average or normal person buys it. Like you're literally probably buying it by the crate by the crate. So that means you might be buying it like 50,000 rounds at a time, 100,000 rounds at a time. But that's just me guessing though. I ain't never bought them, so I couldn't tell you. Look at some more pictures over here, see what we got. This was, let me see, that was in Rome again. Let's see if I can find something else out here. And those people probably buying these weapons, these collectibles. Yeah, for sure. I guess it's a good investment. Like I told people, it's kind of like I feel like guns aren't like gold because, of course, the value of gold, although it goes up and down, I feel like the market for where it's at is what you're going to get for it. Whereas I think with firearms and stuff, it's like you won't get what you paid, but that's all depending on where society is what dictates, I feel like, the value of firearms and stuff like that. But with gold, it just really don't matter. Economy high, economy low. The price is the price. But yeah, I think a lot of people are buying them up just to have them as collective, because there's a few collective items that I actually want to get, and I'd be probably considered to sell them down the road, but I would want them right now. One would be the M4, the FN M4, which is like the replica of the M4s that we that they was using back when I was in the Navy. I ain't sure what M4 style they're using now, but I know they had the Colt M4s, so they got those at like the 14.5 barrels, broomstick out front, like just classic, honestly. And I want one just to have it, probably put it on the wall, slap a little sling on it, put an ACOG on top of it. That's really just wasted money, but I got it. Have you ever those old drums? No, I ain't never seen no oil. I never seen no oil drum full of ammo. Now I've seen crates. Like I said, I've seen crates where it look like it might be like 100,000 rounds on a crate of ammo, and they selling that. But excuse me, I never seen a oil drum full of ammo. Sell here in Wisconsin. Oh wow, that's crazy. I ain't never seen those at the store like that before. And I actually be at Ace Hardware here and there. No, I take that back. It ain't Ace Hardware that I be at. It's Harbor Freight. Sorry. Here go a picture of me doing some weird stuff. Let me see. I'm gonna flip this around. This was when we were in, I think, Abu Dhabi. I think that's when we was at. Yeah. So I was outside just cutting the food basically. Hornady sells them something 14,000 rounds. Sheesh. I don't want to know what to do with all that ammo. Nah. I feel like if I'm shooting that much ammo, I need to really be running some mean drills, like some house clearing, building clearing, like all type of stuff. Shooting from helos, all that. Because to have that much ammo on hand, I ain't no way I'm gonna shoot enough to even say that I can justify having that much ammo. Man, what the rest of these pictures at? I know I got some more in here. Hang on, phone trying to go low on battery. Nope. What's up with y'all though, man? What everybody up to today? What y'all got popping? Let me see, is that link for it? Okay, cool, yeah, put that up there. Let's see, go one of the videos I was working on a while ago. I think I was working on this for like my TikTok or something when I first started doing that. Oh, I forgot it was still more to it. And okay, I guess that was all of it. Let me see, what do you think? I don't know, man. I try to stay out of people's political ideas. Like say you want to talk religion and you talk politics. That's the quickest way to have people start going crazy. But I ain't got no problems with it. I'm cool with what I see right now so far. I feel like somebody go out here trying to, put us back on top, make us that superpower financially, especially. Because yeah, that part. Let's say like military contract. Nah, I ain't. Nah, I ain't no military contractor, not by far. I work as far as doing security, private security, and then doing security for like an actual mainstream security company. But nah, I ain't nothing like that though. I tried to go and I was in contact with a recruiter to go work for. It was a contractor company that was kind of like, I guess, close to like partner-ish with Blackwater. But this was a few years ago, and they had some contracts to go overseas for. I think it was like 13 months. Yeah, 13 or 18. I forget how many months it was. But I was trying to get on the contract, but the recruiter never hit me back, so I wasn't able to get the contract. But I was ready to go, so. Okay, 7 bands for Winchester barrel, 14,000 rounds. Damn. I guess with that, they not even counting the rounds. They just weighing it on the machine. How long it take to average video? You know what? It just all depends on how I'm feeling. It depends on what I got going on for the day, my mood, honestly, because sometimes I be there and trying to do it. Sometimes I just be spaced out. When you have ADHD, it's hard for you to focus on doing one thing. Like today I was working on my bathroom doing some caulking in the shower and on the toilet bowl to the tile on the floor, and then I found myself outside in my garage, somehow sweeping and moving stuff out of the way. And next thing I know, I'm trying to drill a bolt up so I could put my heavy bag up. And then I found myself in the room playing 2K. And then after that, I found myself upstairs going back to doing the caulking and the in the shower. And then after that, I found myself down here trying to figure out what I was going to eat. And then somehow I got sidetracked from eating and found myself right here on live. So yeah, the ADHD is real. So with all that said, you could pretty much get an idea about how long it takes me to edit a video if I'm not like focused in on it, like 100%. It might take me 3 days to do one video, and the video might only be like 4 minutes, honestly. Sometimes it'll take a week, you know. But like I said, once I'm zoned in and I'm there, it don't take no time at all. And a lot of times, even though I be spaced out, a lot of stuff be on my mind. So even though it's like I got something I need to be doing, mentally I'm still thinking about what it was that I was doing. So when it's time for me to go back to doing what I was doing, it's like all of my thoughts and ideas are like right there. So yeah. Let me show y'all a picture of the young me back in my Navy days and my birthday. I don't know where I was going, but I probably was going to get drunk somewhere more than likely. I forget what year that was. I think that might have been like 2010, like 09, 2010, something like that. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. I would say I try, but I just do, you know, what I can, honestly. Some days it work out. I had good videos, and everything kind of rolls how it should. And then some days it just be like trash, and it's like I be recorded 15, 20 minutes worth of content, spent an hour editing just to realize like I really don't like this. Like it ain't even for putting out for the people type of deal. So like I'll be kind of pissed a little bit, but it happens sometimes. Let's see what we got. Here go another picture right here. I think I don't know where I was at. Portugal maybe. Was I in Portugal? I ain't for sure, but that was me sitting outside of some waterfall. I forget where I was at though. Like I said, man, I'd have been so many places, and sometimes you do so much you forget where you was at when you did it, and sometimes you just got so drunk you don't even remember where you was at. You look at pictures of like, when we do this, when we go there, and he was like, yeah, we were drunk that night. I don't remember what the hell we did. I'm trying to see if I got some more movies I could show y'all on here that I did. Some recording that might not be on the actual. That's just the image. It's just some stuff in my garage. It's like, nah, it ain't nothing on here. Oh, it's because I'm on this big. I'm on this iMac, not on the laptop. That's where most of my stuff is at. All right, there you go. Let's see what I can find for y'all on here. I appreciate y'all for tapping in though, for sure. I ain't even think nobody was going to even be interested in checking out the live, honestly. So I appreciate y'all for watching it. Definitely. Here go a video that I did. I think this was on, I don't know what this was. I think it was like a home defense rifle, home defense pistol or something like that. But it was a, what was that? I think it was a Radical Firearms. I definitely don't have that anymore, but it was this was like my first AR pistol, as a matter of fact. But I enjoyed it though, honestly, man. It was pretty sweet. I ain't had no problems with it. And this was like one of the first videos I did, so this was a while back. It's the Glock. This is my 17 Gen 5. Yeah. So yeah, man, I done put on some weight since then. I feel fat as all get out. So yeah, that's that video. If y'all get a chance, go look at check and see, because it might not even be on the channel. As a matter of fact, I might have to go look and find that out myself. I can't even remember what this video actually was about. No, oh, it was on defense setup. That's what it was. We live in Alabama. So yeah, way down south. Way down south. But I actually wanted to go to Portland, Oregon, though. I always wanted to go out there. Yeah. I'm gonna burn it off for sure. Definitely go burn it off. I say give me about 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I'll probably be able to drop about maybe like 15 pounds or something like that. Yeah, man, I heard nothing but good stuff about Portland outside of the crazy homeless people and the drug addicts. I heard Portland pretty cool. Let's see. Got another video here, but I don't even, let's see. It definitely was old. I ain't even gonna show this one. Yeah, quick burn. Let's see. This one is, let's see if I try to make it wider. There you go. So this was a BCM build that I did a while back. I can't remember when I did it, but I did it. Oh yeah, this was my first actual build that I did pretty much in-house. As you can see, we had the SIG M, what's it, the SIG M400. I think that's the model, 600. I forget which one it is. BCM Quad Rail 11.5, Surefire War Comp, Blast Mitigator. I forget what optic that is. I think it was like one of those cheap optics from Optics Planet or something like that. Turn this back around. All right. Some white cousin wedding with the band in summer, making trip out of it. Yeah, Portland. I definitely want to get out there. Portland and Seattle. Them like 2 spots I wanted to go to. All right, here go another video, another image of it. This was, I had the SBM4 brace. So if you ever wanted to get you a brace, don't get the SBM4 because it's adjustable, but it's like all rubber on pretty much a smooth tube or buffer tube. So yeah, it ain't no quick adjust and it sucks. It really do suck. So I had to end up getting rid of that one and getting a complete new setup back there with heavier buffer weight and everything like that anyway. So, but yeah, just remember, if you're going to get you a pistol brace, don't mess around with that SBM4 brace. Like, get the SBA4 brace. You'll thank me later. This day for guns, nowhere is it bad. Yeah, California is pretty much terrible. Like, if you want a gun in California, you might as well just get you a big knife and don't even worry about it because you're not gonna be able to take it with you out of the house from what I know and to the range. Other than that, you're not finna, yeah. And it's limited on ammo capacities, limited on particular actual firearm companies that can and sell in California that you could even buy. So yeah, I just leave it alone. I'm in Alabama. We can buy anything all the way up to a tank at this point. No, I ain't never hunted no alligators ever. How's it compared to the SBA? I like both, honestly. I had both. The SBA3 I had on my Radical Defense. I think I'm gonna go down and see if I can find a video of it, and you can see it. And I like that one. I like the SBA3 and the SBA4, but the SBM, nah. What up to a vet? What's going on? How's that compared to? Yeah, I'll take the 3 honestly over the SBM version versus the SBA version. I'm gonna go with the SBA3 over the SBM4 that I had. Let's see. Nope, that ain't it. Noodling, catching catfish. Heck no. I'm from the city. I don't know nothing about that country stuff. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, I know it's the South because it's Alabama and it's Southern, but I know nothing about no wilderness country. Nah, I don't do none of that. Well, the only fish we get some catfish, we going to the store and buying it out the store. Period. Yeah, that's that's just it's just funny because a lot of people think that when they hear people from Alabama, they think that they do stuff like that. And I'm like, nah. The city I live in is no different than pretty much being in Atlanta. It's just the landmass is not as vast and it's not as much money. But yeah, most Alabama thing. Honestly, I don't know what the most Alabama thing is about me outside of my birth certificate. Like I said, when I went to the Navy, I was 18. Yeah, I was 18 when I went to the Navy because, as a matter of fact, I turned 19 in boot camp. So I was living in Virginia from 19 all the way up until I think 30, till I turned 30. So yeah, for me, my youth was being in Alabama, but as far as like my adulthood and my adult life growing from Virginia, so ain't too much Alabama about me right now, except for the fact that my birth certificate says that I'm from here and I own a house here. Confederate States. Yeah, they fly Confederate flags here still. Um, what's funny though is because when I was reading something or watching something, this would yeah, I do got a southern accent. I'm glad you said southern and not country because I got family who live in the country. So the difference between somebody who's speaking with an accent because they from the south part of the United States versus somebody in the country, completely different. But as far as that Confederate flag thing, yeah, we have people still flying around, ride with them on their truck, rebel flag, battle flag, whatever they want to call it. The thing that gets me though is I want to say that I read something that the actual Confederate, like the flag that people see with the cross and the stars and the red back, the traditional Confederate flag. When I don't remember what it was that I was reading or I was looking at, but when they showed the Confederate flag, the original Confederate flag, it wasn't that. It was like blue and white or something like that. But anyway, the part that kills me about it is if people know what is associated with this flag and they know that it has so much such a negative connotation behind it, so much hate behind it, you're gonna get a lot of criticism, stigma, being negative, a bad stigma associated with it, all those different type of things. But if you know that that's not the actual Confederate flag, why keep flying that one if you know the things that society associates with it and the people who basically wave it? Because my thing is, if that ain't the real one and you know that, but you know what comes with this one, why fly that one? Why not just fly the actual Confederate flag? But I don't know. I don't fly one, so I couldn't tell you. But it's a lot of people that do fly them though. Even in my little community where I live at, I think if I leave out my complex, or not complex, but my community section, whatever you want to call it, and go right down the road, it was somebody's house, and he used to have a big flag. It was like the Confederate flag hanging, it was the American flag hanging, and it was like another flag hanging, which sometimes I find to be contradictory because I'm kind of like, how do you have the American flag and then the Confederate flag right next to each other? So it's like, what side is you on, huh? Like, I don't get it. But hey, it ain't for me to get. Um, yeah, but everybody got their opinions on, you know, stuff like that. So if that's what somebody want to believe in, I can't tell them. I can't tell them nothing. I could tell you you're wrong, but what do it matter if that's what you believe? But for me, I'm just kind of like if you know the truth, why stick to what you know comes with that negative aspect behind it? But some people like to go ahead and do that because You know, that's really how they feel. What up, Jay? What's poppin', bro? Trying to get this video together. I can show y'all another one I had over here. Let's see what this one was. I think this was a review video, something. What? I don't even remember. Look, I'll be doing so many different review videos and giving my opinion on stuff that I'll be forgetting what it is that I'm doing sometimes. But this was an old video. Like, this was dumb old. So I think I might have been just showing some gear and range stuff. I think that's what it was. I was just showing stuff like range gear. What was I showing? Oh, what was that? Oh yeah, that was my old SIG right there. I missed that little SIG. I think it was the M400. It's the snake bite. I know that much. I missed that little rifle. It was pretty cool, though. I like that little color scheme they had on it. And I actually got this hat signed by Coleon Noir. As a matter of fact, it's the Pew Pew Life hat. And I ran into him when I was at SHOT Show this year. And I got a picture with him, and he actually signed the hat. So I thought it was the dopest thing in the world. Used to be my favorite hat, still is. I just don't wear it no more because now I got to put up. Yeah, everything shape and mold. You know, good and the bad, the hurt, the pain, all that stuff. You know, it all plays a factor. Just like working out, you have them days when you hurt, you sore. You know, and you look back on it, it's like them days that were painful, them days that hurt the most, is what got you the results that you know you have in the future. They might have sucked, but you know, the results on the back end are what you was looking for, or they ended up being what they were. Southern Pride, snake bite. Yeah, I mean, Southern Pride. I ain't one of them people. Look, it's just what it is, you know. Then I'm gonna just leave it at that. I could go down a rabbit hole about that whole Southern pride thing and this and that. I got pride for the South, I guess, because I'm from here. But I can go down a long rabbit hole about that whole Southern pride thing. And some people know that it's just a masked way of saying other things that they don't want to say. So saying Southern pride just make it sound better. The government and their business. I always wonder what people meant by the government and their business, because I was like, if you ain't doing, it's kind of like if you ain't doing nothing, if you ride, and I'll put it for example, if you riding down the street and your driver's license is valid, you got insurance on your car, your registration is valid, if the police pull you over or not pull you over, what do you care? It ain't like you doing nothing. So I guess sometimes I'll be wondering about that whole thing about when people say not want to be bothered by the government. I kind of wonder what people mean specifically, because if I'm not doing anything, hell, I care about the government for anything. You know, I ain't doing that criminal, so what I care. But if y'all want to elaborate and explain that a little bit more about the whole government and your business thing, I really do like to hear y'all takes on that. Let me see what we got here. This was another older video. This was on the 16-inch. I forget which rifle this was. Yeah, I really don't even remember, honestly. It was somewhere down here in Alabama, the company that actually made it, but I forget the name of it. Got the little BCM gear on it. But it was pretty cool. I think it was like the Atlas, it's the Atlas Aero Precision, like Aero Precision, Atlas, whatever free flow handguard they had. I forget the name of it. Yep, so there's another old video for y'all to see. As y'all can see, I got a lot of old videos from way back, so y'all get a chance, definitely go check them out. Wyoming people from East Coast making decisions. Nah, I ain't never been to Wyoming. I don't know nothing about that far west, but I wouldn't mind going though. Wyoming, is that considered like the Midwest, or is that kind of like a just considered like straight north kind of deal? What up? What up? Oh, West. Okay, I figured that. I didn't want to classify it in the Midwest because I was like thinking about it in my mind on the map. I was like, oh, I don't think that might be the Midwest, but it is what it is. It's more like Midwest. Yeah, I can see that. That's why I said it was kind of hard to kind of figure out which one was it, whether it's just considered just West, Midwest, or if people just say it's just straight north or whatever the case may be. But no, I ain't never been to Wyoming, but I wouldn't mind going. I want to go everywhere I actually haven't been, honestly. Um, Wisconsin, Wyoming. Let's see, where else would I want to go? Of course, Oregon, Washington, California, some of those places. I'm Oklahoma always. Yeah, Oklahoma. I got an aunt that live out in Oklahoma. I forget where in Oklahoma she live at, but they've been living out there for a minute though. And I see there's a lot of flat land in Oakland, so I know. I mean, I said Oakland in Oklahoma, so I know it's a lot of dope ranges that's out there that you probably don't even need to have no burns for at that point because of the distance so far out that you could shoot. It's just it ain't nothing there. Packers game in Lambeau. Yeah, I would go, but I'm an Eagles fan, so we'll go ahead and pop that out so y'all see what time it is. And somebody want to start talking about the Packers, let's go ahead and let y'all know about the champion Eagles. Let me go ahead and put this away. I don't want to offend nobody by that. And I'm like dumb hungry right now. I wish I had my laptop. I got a whole lot more videos I could have been pulling up on y'all. Let's see what's this one. Oh snap! Yeah, let me show y'all this one. Nope. But I want to go to one. I want to go to one when it's snowing out and I got to put my North Face on. That's the one I want to go to. They go. I think this was one of my first videos. As a matter of fact, this was on I think it was like the ammo ban crisis or something like that. So I pretty much was just showing when I was out there standing in line at like 6 in the morning waiting for like 9 to come around just to buy a couple boxes of ammo like a goofy. But yeah, I was out there like that looking real dumb. So yeah, a couple boxes I got. I didn't even get a lot, honestly. It was just pretty much a waste of my time when I look back at it. It's taking me 2 years, man, this time. Hey, you know what? That pizza sound good though. Domino's be having the what's the joint Domino's be having? They be having the New York style, and I'll be getting it with the like Meat Lovers New York style. And I think I got a free pizza if I go look at my app for little points or whatever. When I was on the Pearl Harbor. No, I was on the Eisenhower. Yeah, the Eisenhower, and it was in Norfolk. I'm sorry, I was trying to think about the time frame, but yeah, I was on the Eisenhower CVN 69 aircraft carrier. I'm trying to think. Pearl Harbor, that was one of the ships I think one of my homies was in when we was in boot camp. Since you know when you're in boot camp, they had like the Pearl Harbor, the Arizona. They have all them different ships where we all got our compartments in, but I think one of my homies was in there. Yeah, it snow sometime, but not often. And when I say not often, I mean really like not often, but it does. Homeport San Diego. Yeah, I figured you was on West Coast with, working from the Pearl Harbor. It just only makes sense. I wanted to go to San Diego at one point in time, but I'm kind of glad that I didn't go, honestly. I used to kick myself in the head for not going and taking the orders there, but when I look back at it now, I'm just like, it probably was best that I didn't go out there. Margarita and the burrito. Yeah. Somebody said something about the Domino, about the pizza, and I'm like, damn, I can order the Domino's, stay at the crib, and then I'll be chilling, got my pizza or whatever. Or I could put some clothes on. They don't close till 9 at the Mexican spot down the way. It's like a 10-minute drive. Go down to the Mexican spot, get me a big old margarita, wait for my burrito to come out, then drive back home. I don't know, man. I'm on 8% of my battery too, so it's like I'm gonna have to pop off in a second anyway. So I'm try to think about something before this battery run out on me. Jalapenos on top. Jalapenos on top of the pizza or on top of the Mexican burrito? Okay, you got married and moved back. Yeah, I ain't get married and moved back here because I got married once when I was in Virginia, and I still lived. That's why I bought my first house in Virginia. I was living out there with my ex-wife, and then when we got divorced, I moved down here. Then I moved to Fort Worth, like right outside Dallas. It was like between I was in between like Fort Worth and Arlington, like kind of going back and forth between there. And then I finally had drove back to Alabama, which I actually was gonna be on my way back up to Virginia, and the way God, ran it, I ended up staying here for a while, kind of giving it a chance because it was really gonna be like a little limited situation. Like I was just like, all right, I'm be here for a little second, and then I'll go ahead and bounce. But it turned out to be something a whole lot more. I'm here like 6 years later still. Nah, I ain't retired. The tacos, man, I know. Nah, I ain't retired. I got out. I did 4, extended for another year. Um, and then I got out. But what's crazy is, all right, so let me tell y'all how it happened. So I was on my 4th year. I was on my 5th year. And we deployed on June 20th. This was 2012. We had deployed on June 20th. So this would have been my 3rd combat deployment, as a matter of fact. Now, we deployed on June 20th. My release date, quote unquote, from active duty was in August, about the 19th or something like that, August the 20th or something like that. So I talked to my chain of command, talked to my chief. He ran an early out shit up to um my officer or whatever over the air department, and then he ran the shit up to the skipper, and they approved my early out shit. So I ended up getting out. I really didn't get out. I just got to stay back, and I didn't have to leave with the ship to go and deploy. Now, what's crazy is I was on my 5th year. The only reason why I didn't deploy was because I could have stayed on and just flew back. That was my only reason why I didn't want to go on that deployment, because I didn't want to have to fly back and be on like a 15, 16, 17-hour flight, because I hate to fly. So that was the reason why I went on ahead and put that early out shit. It was pretty much like a Hail Mary. I was just like, somebody told me you could do them. I was like, bump it. I'm going to try and see what happens. We about to deploy. I'm going to just be like, oh, I'm going to use up the rest of my leave, do my house hunting, job hunting leave time, in conjunction with it or whatever. And they went for it. But looking back now, I know, well, I won't say looking back, I know for a fact that had I gone on the 20th and deployed with that, with my, with the strike group, with my, my ship, I wouldn't have gotten out. I would have extended just because I didn't want to fly. So I would have just set, like, I would have did a whole nother deployment just so I didn't have to make that long ass flight, like straight up. And I fly to this day. I fly, so I can't tell you how many times I flew. So I'm one of them people that's like, I'm not gonna let fear dictate or like overshadow my fun. I put it like that. So I'm gonna get drunk and I'm gonna get on a plane. It don't matter where I'm going. I'm go fly and I'm go get drunk, but I gotta get drunk. It helps me, get myself together. Whether I'm leaving on a flight at 3, 4 in the morning, or I'm leaving at a flight at 2, 3 in the afternoon. It really don't matter. I'm getting twisted. It's just what it is. I'm getting twisted. If I can't get the liquor in the morning at the airport, I'm gonna go to the package store before I pull up. But yeah, the only reason why I ain't take that flight, or only reason why I ain't go on that 3rd deployment, was because I knew that by the time 2 months had went by, I would have had to fly back from wherever we was at. We probably would have been on station by the end, so we would have been over. I probably been flying out of like Bahrain or something like that. And I'm like, nope, not gonna do it. So through my Hail Mary, they let me get out like kind of like 2 months early. But had I went ahead and stayed on that deployment, I would just put in paperwork to extend it another year just to get me all the way through. Then I would have been kicking it with the homies and stuff, because that's one thing that I did realize. Yeah, that's right. You can't let fear dictate your actions at all. Fly, but I'm second guessing. Bump it. I don't care. I'm flying. But man, what was I finna say? I was finna say something. Oh yeah. Kind of sucks, but yeah, Bahrain sucked, man. We used to go on base to Bahrain when we would be out there, and all we had was just like the exchange. We go in there, spend our little money, buy a little clothes and polo shirts and cologne and shit, and then had the little bar area wherever we port side or whatever they called it. We go over there and get drunk and party all night. But Bahrain was super boring. It wasn't nothing to do out there. My homeboy, he was stationed out there on the IE billet. He was out there for like a year. He hated it too. But one thing that I did dislike when I got out and did that that early out shit, and I ain't think about it, was all of my homies was gone. So I mean, I was in a relationship at the time with the joint I was with, and she was in the Navy too. So you know, I was still on base all the time anyway. But when I thought about it after I got out, I was damn, all the homies deployed. So it's like I'm trying to go out and kick it. You know, I'm one of them people. I go out by myself. I go to the club alone. I go to the movies alone. I shop alone. I go to the bar alone. So I don't need people with me to do nothing. But I had certain homies that we just kick it together like that. You know, we go to the gym together, all that kind of stuff. And then the day leads on to whatever else we go do. But I ain't realized that until after, you know, I stayed back and they left. And I was like, dang, all of my homies is gone. So that was like the down part of leaving out early. I had to wait for all of them to come back. I think they came back like a little bit after December or something like that, a little after January. Portland nurses went on strike. But so the nurses came working. A lot of nurses. Oh yeah, they be on it. The nurses don't play, man. They get crazy. And as y'all can see, lab coat right there. Like my wife, she a nurse and she teaches and all that stuff too. So and she a travel nurse. Well, we did a travel nursing thing too. So we used to like travel back and forth and stuff like that. Especially during she was travel nursing during the pandemic. So during the pandemic, we was like back and forth between here and like Atlanta, like a few days a week. So yeah, they be asking a lot from the nurses, but be funny with the money at times. So it sucked, you know. Yeah, the fam. Oh man, no problem, man. Salute, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate you for sure, man. Thank you for your service also. It's a little important close. Let's see, look. Hey, I don't know what to say, man. That's a weird spot where that's a spot where if I was growing up and I was younger and somebody asked me like, is it black people in Oregon or something? I'd be like, nah, probably not. So yeah. But I was naive then. I was young. I ain't know no better. Oh man, but appreciate it, man. It was a pleasure serving. And my time getting low, y'all. I'm on 3% on this battery, so I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. When y'all get a chance, go look at some of the old videos. Watch this video again. Send it to a friend. I'm gonna holla at y'all. Peace.